Hello again, welcome to the MasterCAM course. In that lecture we're gonna talk about the multi-axis and operation here. This is my product. Actually I need to organize my coordinate. First of all, I'm gonna click the wireframe and bounding box options, and then we should create our bounding box like this, and then we can create corner to corner line. Then we can use the transform and move the origin, and then we can click the midpoint of that line, and then we're gonna make the clear color options. After that we can delete all that line. I don't need it anymore. Okay, that's fine. I can use right mouse button, mill toolpath, multi-axis pattern and curve toolpath. Okay, I need to create my tool. I'm gonna click here, create tool, and then I'm gonna use the next button to be able to get 6 mm diameters tool here, and then jump in the cut pattern. When I am turned to cut pattern, I'm gonna use the 3D curve here. I can select all my curve like this. This curve is already projected on my surface. I can make the compensation type off, and then when I'm turned to tool axis, I'm gonna use the surface approach here, and then I just need to select my surface like this. And then let's calculate our toolpath. Okay, when I am click here to see my toolpath, this is approaching, and we're gonna create that kind of toolpath here. We cannot create for that line, so that's why we can turn here and then cut pattern, 3D curves. I can delete it and I can create new one, but by using the partial and weight options. We can start from here, here and here, and then we can calculate it. So when I see the backlot simulation, we're gonna see that kind of toolpath here. Okay, everything seems fine. After that, let's copy that toolpath and paste here and turn back to my parameters. Everything seems fine, and then we're gonna turn here, we're gonna turn to single, and then select my tool, and then I'm gonna recalculate it. Okay, let's check. Everything seems fine for that line. Okay, we're gonna stay here and here. This is actually because of my surface and problem or surface approach, I don't know, and I try to solve that problem. That's all okay. According to my surface, I can easily create it, my toolpath. When I am turned to here, this is radial offset can be 0. Actually we can also make them 0 for my first operation. Okay, but when I am turned here, I can change that stuff too, and we're gonna use the backlot simulation 1 and 2. Yes, and let's turn to tool axis. Okay, this is the actually my side tilt angle. We can also see the another degree here, and this is the normal to surface. Maybe we should turn to actually normal to plane for, and that's line. Yes, it's done. Okay, this is the problem. I can solve that problem. So I can turn here. Maybe we should apply all that approach and for my and all curve with used actually normal to plane projection approach. And then we're gonna see, let me check, oops, okay, let me check my, okay, I don't want to turn to simulation. I can turn here and to be able to see the backload simulation. Yes, everything seems fine. And then we can delete that part. Okay, that's fine. This is my toolpath for curve and options. Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciated your interest. We have created and some toolpath, tool axis control and the surface and cut pattern, 3D curves and tool axis control selected as a surface. Okay, thank you very much. Hello again, welcome to the MasterCAM course. In that lecture we're gonna talk about actually multi-axis toolpath here. I created that kind of surface and that kind of curve as you can see on the screen and with the green color. Anyway, and this is my curve, so I just need to move that and all that product move the origin, and by using the center of and that circle, oops, sorry about that. I can move the origin options. I just need to click here. No, I need to select that curve. Okay, transform, move the origin. That must be curve, that's why we cannot select it. Let me analyze. That's one. No, this is arc actually. Okay, let me create and some bounding box by using all that geometries here with 3D, and then we can create our line, and then I can use the transform, move to origin, and then I'm gonna select midpoint of that line, and then I can delete all that line like this. Yes, everything seems fine. Okay, we are ready, and we can also delete that circle. Okay, let's turn to mill toolpath, multi-axis pattern and curve toolpath, and then I'm gonna click here, create my tool. Maybe it can be 10 millimeters or 6 millimeters, maybe better, and mill tool. So I can write my feed rate and my cutting speed, and then I'm gonna turn to cut pattern. I'm gonna click on 3D curves, and then I can select the 3D curves like this, and then I can turn to off as a compensation type, and then as a tool axis control we can turn to the surface approach with the 5-axis output, and then click the OK button. Okay, sorry, no, and then we're gonna turn back to our parameters again. We need to select our surface as well. I just need to select my and the surface, and then I'm gonna recalculate it. Okay, let's check our toolpath. We can easily, that's kind of. And again, welcome to the multi-axis courses here. As you remember that I'm gonna also mention about that and the multi-surface approach and multi-surface and the pattern, and I selected the multi-surface here. Okay, and let's turn back to another options here. If you click right mouse button, mill toolpath, and the multi-axis pattern and curve. Okay, I created some toolpath by using the curve options in actually multi-surface. You're gonna see that's kind of toolpath here. Okay, let's jump in our parameters and try to understand that better. So this is actually pattern approach, curve, it's selected, and then you can select your tool. This is under my tool. Maybe we can create new tool here. It can be a ball and mill with 6 mm diameter, and then finish it. Okay, after that I can turn to cut pattern parameters here. When I am click here, curve type is selected as a 3D curves. We can also select and the surface edges all or surface edges single. I'm gonna click here, and then I need to select my curve as a chain. This is my chain. Actually it is already selected here. This is the 3D curves. And then compensation type can be and calculated by computer, can be used the control, and of course can be used also off options. So after that, when turn to curve following method here, we need to decide our distance. You know that if you have some curve, it means that you need some nodes here. This is the distance between the two nodes. This is the 1 mm. And then of course this is actually crucial for, and each 5 axis we need to organize tool axis control here. So, and we need to organize here tool axis control. Tool axis control, actually maybe we can select here and the plane from point to point, chain, surface and lines. I selected and plane here. So when I am click here, you can see the plane selection options in the MasterCAM. You need to select your plane here. Okay, and after that we need to decide output format here. Output format is selected, and the 5 axis, and my rotary axis is selected as x-axis. We can also decide that our and the teeth angle. We can also decide that our vector length. Vector length actually can be 25, and it's enough for us. Most of the 5 axis machining, of course, and the side teeth degree can be 20 degree. You can also see that this is my normal of my surface, and this is the degree and the between that surface normal and my tool axis normal. I just need to write 20 degree here. And then of course we're gonna see, and let's recalculate it, and we're gonna see that degree in here. Okay, when I am look at here, this is my surface normal, and we're gonna see that degree here. This is the actually and 20 degree here. If I am make them 45, maybe we can also see that degree here. Okay, maybe we should copy that toolpath and paste here, and then maybe we should change tool axis control, and maybe we should make them 5 degree only, and then we can see the degree differences from there. Okay, this is the 5 degree, this is the 35 degree here. Okay, and when I am turned here, and we're gonna see that's kind of toolpath here. I'm gonna approach like this, and then I'm gonna follow my surface like this. So this is actually cut pattern 3D curves approach for my process actually, and this is only actually and the cut pattern. You know that it's a type, this is the curve, so we need to follow our curves. We can also use, when I am turned to here, actually we can also use the computer, and then this is according to my curve. Actually we can also use the left or right side and the tool compensation here, and then we're gonna see that's kind of differences between the dots and the dots parameters. Okay, we can click here and make them off again. Okay, and I think that's it, and we're gonna see and multi-axis toolpath here is a tool type, curve toolpath. Of course, by using it as a cut pattern, 3D curves, and tool axis is organized as a plane. We can also select the surfaces or another options maybe, and can be selected. Okay, thank you very much, and I really appreciated your interest, and thank you very much, and take care.